Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. It's in the description below, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a model launched in 2015 in grade 5 titanium and ceramic with integrated bracelet made of the same. This is the Hublot Big Bang Unico. 45 millimeters, mostly in titanium. The watch is substantial, but not as overbearing in its weight. As you can see, it's a large watch, 45 millimeters in diameter, 15.5 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug across the case, a beefy 57.5 millimeters, though with a little bit of flair and extra distance added by the end links of the bracelet, it does wind up being about 60 millimeters across the wrist. But that's okay, and you'll see why. The watch fits. As you can see, it's the shape of the end of the lug. The end of the lug, as well as the bracelet, might be rigid, but it's also turned down. So I can wear this watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. That said, it does wear larger than a Big Bang of the same size on a rubber strap. So I'm going to recommend this one for 16 centimeter circumference wrists like mine or larger, because I'm definitely looking at the lower limit of wrist viability right here. It's a thick watch, no getting around that. It's going to cause some sleeves to hang up, but you should be okay with a jacket sleeve. Pop off the wrist, take a quick look at the hardware and the software. This is where the watch really sets itself apart. Right back in 1980, the first Hublot watch, which was called the Hublot and actually made by a company called MDM Genève, it heretically added a rubber strap to a gold case. The idea of a premium watch with a rubber strap was, well, racy at the time. Today, a luxury watch with a rubber strap is almost commonplace. It's almost the class default for this type of watch. So adding an integrated bracelet fundamentally changes not just the look of the Big Bang, but also the direction of Hublot history. What's nice is that they have a tonal contrast between the steel, or I should say the titanium, it is a titanium watch, and then the ceramic inserts. So you've got those ceramic inserts that rise a little bit above the titanium to protect it from scratches, but I should mention that all of this is grade 5 titanium, which means it's light like grade 2, but it has the scratch resistance that is superior to steel. It also is capable of being polished. So when you see polished titanium, you know you're looking at the grade 5 stuff. There's a little bit of a polished bevel down the side of the links, so they are artfully finished, being satinated on their tops. The clasp is relatively simple. It is a sequential closure. One side closes before the other, and then you open it by pushing 2 triggers. So you need to press those triggers. It can't pop open by accident. Because of the particular fabrication here, it's a little bit like a Grand Seiko bracelet, with the removable links being fixed in place by pins and sleeves. So if you want to size this at home, you're going to need a punch and a block. The good news, though, is that the Unico's push-button quick change system is retained with the bracelet. So you can go get a strap from Hublot, leather, fabric, rubber, it doesn't matter, and you can quickly remove the bracelet if you're having fit issues or you just want to change the look of the watch, and you can return it into place as quickly as you removed it because it's like a car seat belt. I should also mention that this watch comes with an additional accessory strap, so you get the bracelet but you also get a strap. You can switch between them without making any additional purchases. Talking about the case now, as you can see, it has that same contrast between polished and satin facets as the bracelet itself. You have these little H pattern bolts on the lug overrider, and then we have a mid case that is a resin composite insert, and then the inner case is made of titanium. You can see that there are a set of automotive piston inspired pushers, and take note, we'll start the Unico up again. The Unico comes standard as a flyback, so you're able to reset and restart just by pushing the trigger at 4. The crown is a screw down. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. The crown has a rubber shoulder to make for easier handling. Note that the watch does feature hacking or stop seconds. It also features a quick set system, so you can rapidly cycle the date. Note that the date is hidden inside a little panel within the 60-minute register of the chronograph. That's another important note to make. This chronograph doesn't go up to 30 or 45 minutes like most know. It has a 60-minute chronograph register, which I find handy. It should be universal on all chronographs. The bezel. There is some liberal borrowing from the Audemars Royal Oak here, both in appearance and in construction, but Hublot has effectively made this its own over the years. Satin finish on the top, polish on the flank, those H-pattern bolts made of titanium inside. You can see the bolts themselves have a combination of media blasting and polish, so the attention to detail is excellent, and having this big ceramic blocker on top of the watch ensures that it's going to take most of the hits and protect your watch from scratches. The dial is very open, and the Unico's always been designed to be seen. As you can appreciate, differentiate, there's several layers. The dial sloping down from the sapphire through a Rayhot, which features white and red calibrations, and then these sort of cantilevered numerals and indices. If you look closely, you can actually see that there is a lateral clutch and a column wheel, and the column wheel has an H on top of it. But the fun of this movement is that you don't have to turn it over to see the chronograph in action. You can see the lateral clutch moving into and out of contact with the driving center wheels. You can see the black polished column wheel in action throughout. So a lot of the chrono action, as well as the motion works used for setting the hands, is visible on the dial side. It's a fun movement to display. I normally hate having to show display case backs on watches that have solid bands around them, but it's easy because I can just remove this bracelet. Unico, caliber 1242, automatic winding, 72-hour power reserve. It's actually well balanced against shock with a full balance bridge. It beats weight 8 beats per second. It has the flyback capability, the quick set, the hacking seconds, an unlubricated silicone escapement that's both anti-magnetic and, because it's unlubricated, it actually helps the watch age better between services. So you don't get that gradual degradation and stick that comes with aging lubricants. That's one of the advantages of the silicone escapement. All of this pivots on 38 joules, and it has this somewhat ambiguous full adjusted terminology on the back. To me, full adjusted means only one thing: 5 positions chronometer standard. So I'm going to take them at their word and assume that's what it means. But I will tell you that having tested these on chronoscopes in the past, they do run very regular, so I would believe that. The movement itself is all grayscale, matte finished, and there is some satin finishing on the rotor, but the plates and bridges themselves are media blast, giving it a technical, industrial, almost machine aesthetic. And since it uses Edicron for fine adjustment and regulation, you can see that it is capable of being regulated very, very precisely. That is one of the great advantages of the Edicron system. All right. We are done discussing the Hublot Big Bang Unico full integrated bracelet. If you like what you see, reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Back with the Big Bang Unico. Just in case I failed to mention, this is a 28.8 beat rate watch, and it is a column wheel lateral clutch chronograph.